Hello, everyone. I hope you all are well. Today, I'm going to look at a chart by a YouTube subscriber who have left a comment about 3 days ago in the comment section of a previous video, which is the Jupiter Transit 2024 Guru Peyarchi video. So this native has put in this question. Sir, I'm going through a very bad Ashtama Sani. Please look into my chart. And he has given his birth details. He's born in Meghalaya in India in the year 1990. Lost his job. Relationship is having a hit. I've got completely zero bank balance. And he has asked for my help. He's going through a bad time, sleepless night. So he's obviously asking for my forecast. So what is going to come? And how long is this going to last, obviously. So I have put, so not going to speak out his name or birth details, but I will put on his chart, which you can see right now. So I put on both the Rasi and Navamsa chart side by side. You can see that he is a Simha Lucknow native. And obviously to have an Ashtama Sani now, he has to be Karagarasi. And one of the first things I will notice is if I see Moon next to Rahu or Ketu, as in his case, I will immediately go and find out if there was a lunar eclipse, either a partial or a complete lunar eclipse. And I'll talk about that shortly. Anyway, let's just look at all the planets in this chart. So I'm looking at the Rasi chart, which is on the left. So the Lagna Lord, Simha Lagnam, and the Lagna Lord is actually the Sun. So obviously the first thing I look at is the strength of the Lagna Lord. Who your number one planet is, the planet of your first house. How how much of a hit you're going to be able to take in your life is determined by your Lagna Lord. In this case, the Sun or Surya. So you can see the Sun is in the sixth house. So the Lagna Lord in the sixth house, he vanishes or goes missing. He is next to Rahu and Mercury. Mercury is house number 2 and house number 11, the lordship of those houses. Rahu doesn't have a house. Rahu, Ketu, they do not own any houses because they are shadow planets. The physical planets are the 7. Anyhow, in house number 5, you have Venus, Saturn, and Mars. In house number 4, we got something called Gulika, but that is some astrological systems use that, but I don't. Gulika is actually it's another imaginary planet. It's actually the son of, the progeny, the child of Saturn. But I don't look into that. So even if you see that GUL, please disregard that. So Saturn, Venus, and Mars is in house number 5, which is the Putra Bhava, house of children, house of luck. But what I'm talking about here is Saturn is looking at house number 7, Kumbham. He's looking through his third drishti, he's looking at house number 7. And Saturn is one of those planets that shouldn't look at his own house, but he is. But we'll talk about that. House number 11, way over at the Midunam side, you have Jupiter. And house number 12, just before the Lagnam, you have Moon and Ketu. So that's your Rasi house. And it's a total eclipse. I'll just tell you the year of this native is 1990. So it's a total lunar eclipse on the very day that this person was born. Anyhow, that is the planetary positions. I will also put up the degrees, minutes, seconds, which you will come up to the screen now. You can see that. And some of the planets here with Sanskrit names, which are not so clear, like Kuja is actually Mars or Savai. And then you have the Nakshatram or the stars, which are like Purva Palguni, right? Is actually Puram, and then you have Ashlisha is actually Ilium. That is the Rasi Nakshatra is Ilium, which is a star owned by the planet Mercury. Now, coming back to the Rasi and Navamsa chart, let's talk about the Navamsa chart. Navamsa chart says that in the Laknam itself, which is in Vrichagam, you have Saturn. House number two, you have Venus and Jupiter, which are the two benefic planets. House number three, Mercury Ketu. House number four, the Moon. And then you've got a few empty houses. House number nine, you have Rahu. 10 is Mars. 11 is the Sun. And 12, again, Golika, we will disregard that. Anyhow, Ashtama Sani. Okay, now we're looking on the Rasi chart on the left. That is the main physical chart. 95% that's dominating you is your Rasi chart. Navamsa chart dominates you 5%. It's the shadow. So you have the true, and then you have the illusionary, which is the Navamsa. You need both to read a forecast of a native. Anyhow, one of the few things that pops up from this native's Rasi chart. Okay. Obviously, Ashtama Sani now, due to it being his Kadaga Rasi. One point of note is Jupiter, which is the complete benefic planet, is looking at Saturn and Mars. Obviously, Venus is there. The two malefic planets, the complete malefics, actually Saturn is 100% malefic. Mars is about 75 to 80%, but still malefic. So Jupiter and Venus, they kind of subdue the effects of Saturn and Mars, particularly Venus, which is in close, in much closeness with Saturn. So Venus gives his positive energy to Saturn, but in turn, Venus becomes negative. So this native, because of Venus, Venus is the Kalatra Karagan, right? The planet for romances and lust, the opposite sex, spouses, right? So Venus kind of loses his strength and then gains it through Jupiter's drishti. So losing first because Sunny's effect will happen first, and then Jupiter's effect will come at the end. It's kind of like a fire in a building. Fire is happening, the firefighters come later, and then they put out the fire and whatnot, and the damage is done. Right? They may or may not save it, depends on how late they come. Again, this is Jupiter and Saturn and Mars, depends on the degrees that they are apart and the drishti of Jupiter. Jupiter's drishti is what matters more than his positional strength. Anyhow, I did mention that Sani shouldn't look at his own house. He is looking at house number seven, which is Kumbha, through his third drishti. He is in the house number five with a planet whom he doesn't like. He likes Venus, but he doesn't like Mars. So, kind of loses his interest for house number seven through his drishti. So you will eventually disregard um, the people around you, the romantic circle is lost because again, Ashtama Sani is looking at his house. Also, point of note is Jupiter at house number 11. House number 11 is obviously stronger than house number 7, meaning that there is a second marriage in this person's life. Second marriage will be much better than the first marriage. All right, so now let's look at the current dasa and bhukti that this person is going through and when this effect will actually change. So I'm putting on the screen the dasa and bhukti of this native. You have Venus dasa, Ketu bhukti is what this native is going through now. And that's the end of his 20-year Sukra dasa or 20 years Venus coming to an end with Ketu. Now, if we were to look here back to the chart. In the Rasi chart, you have Moon and Ketu being in the 12th house, house of losses, house of vanish. And you have Venus there with complete destruction with Saturn, Sani. So, first off, relationship is gone. This is going to extend with the upcoming Dasa, which is Surya Dasa. That is your Lakna Lord, obviously. But coming back to the Rasi and Navamsa chart here, Suryan has gone missing into the sixth house with Rahu and Mercury with Buddha. And if we were to look at the degrees, minutes, seconds, we have Suryan is closer to Rahu than he is to Mercury. Mercury is in 3 degrees. Rahu and Suryan, they are in 20 odd degrees, 22 and 26 respectively. Looking at the chart here, Surya Dasa will always start with Surya Bhukti. So you have Surya and Surya, or Sun, Sun. And then you have Sun and Moon. It's also going to be negative. So the negative time, currently, Venus, Ketu, will extend to Sun. Sun will continue till Sun, Moon. Sun and Mars is when changes will happen. Why? Because a few things. Jupiter is looking at Mars. He's not looking at Surya. He's looking at Mars. Laknadipati is in a vanishing situation now, but in the upcoming Mars period, this native will expect changes. Um, for Simha Laknam, you have Mars owns house number 4 and house number 10, which is kind of like his Dharma Karma Adhipati. Actually, the actual Bhakya Adhipati of Simha Laknam is actually Mars. Mars is the one that is given the task of giving you Bhakya. Obviously, house number 4 and house number 10, they are the Kendra houses. And it's kind of the 4 pillars. So you have house number 1, 4, 7, 10. 4 and 10 is one of the stronger parts of the pillars. So the 2 pillars which are stronger than the other 2. And Savai is the owner. And Savai, with Suryan's help, he's going to build up this person. So up until uh, 7th of July 2025, this native will have a bit of a struggle, although Ashtama Sani will be over in March of 2025 next year. The negative time will continue, will extend up till 2025 July, which is not so far away, another 4 additional months. But this is the reading. And obviously, I'm just looking at the immediate future. It's about a year, about 14, 15 months from now. And just basing off his question, just bouncing off from the idea that why is it Venus Ketu, Ashtama Sani now, but Venus Ketu period right now? Also because they are in Sashtashtagam position, Venus and Ketu. Going back to the chart here, you see Venus and Ketu, they are 6 and 8 houses away. Ketu from Venus, if you are calculating from the position where Venus, Saturn, Mars is, that's if you take that as house number 1, we go clockwise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is where Ketu is. Calculating from Ketu as number 1 now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have the 6, 8 combination. Again, that's a Dubsthana house. Dubsthana number 6, 8, 12. And Ketu itself is in house number 12. Severe losses. The Sashtashtagam period is causing it into being in overdrive with Ashtama Sani. Right? Kind of ruthless. If we see in this case also that Mars is over there, Mars is a speedy planet, speed, going fast. So And we can also uh, expect accidents to happen because what is Sani? Sani is boundary, limitation. So a very fast moving object like Mars, or in this instance, is a car, coming to a sudden limit, sudden stop in the case of an accident. So this native, I would give a severe warning to being cautious in the near future because you are also Ailiam Natchatram, owned by Mercury, no doubt. But for Ashtama Sani, for Kadagam, Ailiam is only stepping into effects of Sani is only kicking in now. So Sani, was actually looking at Punarpusam, a few padam there, that was done in 2022 at the end, started 2022 end, 2023 last year, it was completely about Pusam Natchatram. They had it bad. This year, Island Natchatram natives are having it bad. So the start of your problems is actually kicking in now. You are going through the worst period right now. 2024 will be really, really challenging. All the things I said, be careful about talking to women, be careful about driving. Yes. And also, you should be careful about uh, whom you lend money to. For house number 2 and 11 is kicking in with Mercury there. 2 and 11 is income. If you are going to be a guarantor for a friend or a family member, a bank guarantor, I really recommend you don't do that because you would be stuck. You would be pulled into a legal battle that you don't want to get into because Sunny also represents legal issues. All right, so those are my cautionary aspects of this video, but the plus point of it is it's coming to an end during your Sun Dasa or Surya Dasa Mars Bhakti next year, 7th of July. And up until then, it's going to be a challenging ride. I am sorry to say that the uh, negative effect is going to step up a bit this year. So be a bit more cautious, a bit more uh, careful about whom your friends and family members that you're trying to help. And obviously, you're going through a sleepless night because house number 12 is affected. Sleep comes in house number 12, Kedu, where Kedu is. Remember, you're going through Sukradasa Kedu Bhukti. Yeah, so you're going to have an extended period of sleeplessness, but it's something you have to deal with, my friend, and you will be triumphant. You will be victorious. You'll come out of it next year, 2025, July 7th. And do reach out to me if you want further clarification, further details. And I hope that this video would help the others who are going through challenging Ashtamasani time. Please leave a comment, subscribe and like the video, and I wish you all the best. Thank you. God bless everyone.